Just before COVID, there was rumors we could lose the community forest if we don't do some logging. This was total BS and just a rumor. So a company named Gen4 came to save us. They hired a retired government forester. We stood on the Kixon Road and Rob Furness explained to us how he could selectively log with a helicopter doing a worming operation. I was the only one that understood what he meant by worming operation. We would select areas to make small clear cuts shaped like a worm. I was also the only one that had any experience in the logging industry. Unfortunately to the board it didn't mean much because I didn't have the degree to back it. We had Meridian Forest Products, who has foresters with degrees, engineer a selective logging operation for us. Gen 4 told us it was a garbage plan and it got voted down by the board. This one cost us over $20,000. Rob Furness had given us a new plan. I actually took the map and tweaked it so that we could selectively log the road cuts instead of making 60-foot wide swaths. This got voted down and their plan got voted in. These are the 3 blocks we finally did. I was able to read and understand their maps. These blocks are the ones we did. These are the ones they had proposed for us to do. On my Facebook post, it was commented by one of the directors how tiny these cut blocks are. Back then, our annual allowable cut was 800 cubic meters a year. In 10 years, that's 8,000 cubic meters. These 6 cut blocks equal 6,000 meters. That's just under 2 5-year cut plans. Furness said that the old-growth forest is decadent and needs to be replaced by the beautiful new forest. This is what a degree in forestry gets you. I worked with Stefan doing proposal to do some real selective logging, but it only took one meeting with quorum, and Stefan was away, to approve those cut blocks. Once it was all done, a few months later COVID happened and the price of cedar tripled. In part 1 of my video, you'll see how I started the community forest in 1992. Ever since then, I've been banging my head against a brick wall. Stefan is the director now of the community forest, and he seems to be just going rogue, selectively logging. I totally support and applaud what he is doing. There's no doubt there will be a push to have him replaced as director. Another comment on a board member was she didn't see me at the meeting where they approved this logging. The small town, I don't need to be there to hear what's going on. This is what Stefan's logging slash looks like. And these are the logs that come from it. They have no manager and not one person on the board has any on-the-ground, hands-on logging experience. But then I could be wrong. I made this video because of the discussion I'm having with some of the directors on social media. On the Bamfield Cork Board, I made a comment about the replanting. I have also had discussions with board members about how they need to thin out the dead zones on the community forest. All I get is they'll eventually thin out on their own. On social media, I said how this clear cut needs to have alders planted throughout it. Alders grow at 2 feet per year. In 5 years, you would have a 10-foot forest canopy covering the tiny little seedlings that they planted in this barren ground. Climate change is real, and this cut block is on its 2nd run of replanting. I'm pretty much laughed at, and all I hear is we go by government specs. I've been through this before. I wrote this article in 1990 and sent it to Forest Minister Claude Richmond. I said a clear cut looks as if an ice age has come and gone. He wrote me back and said, yes, but it also resembles insect epidemics, wildfires, and hurricanes. I disagreed with the term first growth and second growth forests. Personally, I believe a first growth forest is the first growth cycle after a natural disaster, like this Irish forest and this forest at Cerrito River. On the Cork Board, I said how the natives used to log. They would single out what they needed and leave the rest of the forest to grow. I applaud the community forest for doing this, finally, after 30 years.